Hello everyone, so today's video is about lighter buttstocks. Naturally, this being a 10-inch barrel, this Specna Arms rifle is very heavy. Granted, I probably don't need to have this, but I ordered a 4-inch shorter shroud, so I'm gonna have to lose, a lot of forehand grip. So that's why this is on. It just came in the mail earlier. But this, Specna Arms buttstock, this crane stock is really heavy. And I find that I don't use these side chambers as well. I bought a, hold on here. All my batteries are this little stick pack here, and they all fit inside the buffer tube. So the crane stock, although it has these 2 extra ports here, I just never use them, so it's just unnecessary weight. Also, I'm not a big fan of this thing, this being a separate piece here to cover this before you put on this rubber piece. So I never even use this thing. So I'm going to show you a bunch of photos. I went to a store and weighed all the buttstocks that they had. But what we don't know is how heavy this crane stock is yet. So let me weigh this out. Hold on a second. Another thing I forgot to mention why I don't like this stock is you saw me try to pull it off, but the cables, they always get snagged in this groove. There's this open groove right here, and so the cables always get snagged there. And so basically I had to put the stock back on, take the battery out, make sure this thing wasn't like stuck in one of these grooves, and then I could remove it. It's very time consuming. So anyways, here's my kitchen scale. It's zeroed out. That little piece is 50 grams. This is like 13, 14 grams. And then let's add the big boy. So this thing is 290 grams in full. Alright. Now, so this one I weighed with the same scale at the store. This is this MGP CQB thing. I just know it as a Python buttstock. I'm not sure if there's other brands, other companies making this. So it's got this, pin there. So hopefully you can see the black pin inside. And so what I like about this one is the pin will totally vanish just through this side lever. You see, the pin is flush with the tan. Okay, or it's supposed to be. Whereas the crane stock, another thing here, it'll go through the adjustment pins here, but you'll notice there's actually metal here on the end. So that always catches the pin here. So to totally remove this stock, I have to pull it extra manually using 2 hands. But let's see if this can just go on and off past this little metal retaining wall on its own. Yep, so it'll do it without having 2 hands. So that's another plus, I think, of this design. And to get it off, I just gotta squeeze it really tight. So that's easy on, easy off, one-handed job. So that's cool. I guess the only annoying part, well, I guess I would have a battery literally in there. Let's try it with this. Make sure the safety's on. Granted, there's no magazine or BB in that chamber. So I got a bunch of extra cable dangling there. You'll notice this blobby stuff. I used some polymorph, which is heat moldable plastic, just to make it a little easier to grab on and off, and also so I don't strip the wires out when I'm plugging it into a charger. Alright, well still, even with that blobby cable mess, it goes on and off pretty easy. It finds the adjustment pins, so it works well. I did notice though also, see, now that I think I don't know if the cable's getting stuck on one of these grooves. So that might be an issue right there. I might have to figure out a better way to take up the slack. So if you've never seen this up close, there's actually two metal pins holding this rear, rubbery. Actually, I'm not sure if it's rubbery. It feels hard plastic, but it does have some grip to it. So I don't know if these can come out. If it can't hinge. There's no way it can hinge. But it looks like you can either push out those pins, or possibly they might actually be grub screws, and you can undo it. But since it's so easy to slide on and off, I guess it's not a major concern. Once I zip tie a lot of this extra cable inside the gun, or I might have to trim it down. So I was thinking of taking up the slack here, so all the jumbled cables don't get snagged on the inside of this thing. So I zip tied this so the cable's barely sticking out the end, but I'll show you it doesn't work. Even though that's a pretty small zip tie, there's just not enough room in the buffer tube to allow this to work. So here's my battery. I'm sure I can get past the connector, but it's getting stuck up on that bundle of cable right there. So that idea is not going to fly. Alright, I was fidgeting around and I found a solution. So here's the battery obviously hooked up. Slide that in. So I'll tell you a problem you might run into. If you just have your cables dangling like this, it just gets snagged. Pulling it in or out, it gets snagged. And also, the cables will just be bunched up here, so you can't actually push the buttstock all the way forward. But luckily, the length of this original cable here, I can actually fold this all in to the buttstock. So here. Alright. And then I'll push that in as far as I can. So it's still going to be a little bit sticking out. But there's actually so much cable that it tends to keep its shape. So that's, I don't know, that amount just sticking out. And now it's fully compressed. Alright, fully extended. So it works quite well. I was thinking about abandoning this and getting the black one, which weighs almost the same if you go back to the photos I took. But I managed to just save it by simply sticking the cables in that orientation. Maybe later I will get the black one anyways, because you'll see this is a really narrow. I took some comparisons of the other black one and it's much wider. So I'll have to see how this feels against my shoulder as I play. Okay, but that's it for today. Yeah, 190-ish grams. Seems pretty good as long as you do that bundling there. Alright, thanks. I'll see you in the next video.